Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to today's Daf Yomi Kesubos Tzadik Beis. We are holding on Tzadik Aleph Amud Beis, three lines from the bottom of the Amud. So typically, there are two methods of selling real estate: be'achrayis and shaloi be'achrayis. If I accept responsibility, I sell it as a secured sale. That's called be'achrayis. So if anything happens, if any creditor should repossess that property from you, I will compensate you fully. That's be'achrayis. Shaloi be'achrayis reflects a sale where I'm not undertaking any achrayis, any responsibility for that sale. If somebody repossesses it from you, you took a chance. Amma Rami Bar Chama, three lines from the bottom. Reuven shemachar sada l'Shimon. Shaloi be'achrayis. Suppose Reuven has a field, sells it to Shimon without taking any responsibility. Shaloi be'achrayis. V'aso Shimon umachro l'Reuven be'achrayis. Shimon turns around and for whatever reason decides to resell it back to his seller, to the original owner. But this time he adds a clause in the contract. Be'achrayis. I am taking full responsibility for anything that may happen with this field. If somebody repossesses this field from you, Reuven, I will compensate you. Let's go to Rashi, three lines from the bottom. Reuven sells to Shimon shaloi be'achrayis. Kol mishiter fenem yadcha. If anybody repossesses it from your possession, afilu bedin le'achser lecha amois. Even if it was a just and rightful repossession, I will not return the money. And Shimon, the buyer, turns around and resells that same field to Reuven, the former owner. Umachar Reuven, who was the Baal Merushanim, right? Be'achrayis. This time, he's guaranteeing the sale. Shekol me'shiter fena bedin ifaten aloi. If anybody will come take it from you, a Baal Choiv or whatever, I will repay you. Okay, so I sold the field to you without achrayis. You resold it back to me with achrayis. And what happened? Says the Gemara on Daf Tzadik Beis Amud Aleph. V'asa Baal Choiv de Reuven. Down the line, my Baal Choiv, the one who I owed money to, came around and grabbed the field from me. Because Tarafli Minei grabbed it from Reuven. Now it so happens that I owed money to that Baal Choiv before I actually sold the field to Shimon. So Shimon already, he purchased a field which already had a string attached to it. It was already committed. It had a lien on it to the Baal Choiv of the seller. So now Reuven lost his field. Dinahu, the halacha is the azal Shimon umafatzile. Shimon, the poor buyer, has to go compensate Reuven on account of the loss that he just experienced, on account of the Baal Choiv, his own Baal Choiv, Reuven's Baal Choiv, who grabbed the field from him, because Shimon ultimately took responsibility for this field, for this sale. Amali Rabba, how could that be? Nihida achrayis da alma. Kabbalah. True. Shimon was willing to accept responsibility for the sale. That if a stranger, will come along and challenge the ownership for whatever reason. Let's say Shimon has a Baal Choiv who has a lien on him. Okay, I'm accepting that responsibility. I will be there for you. I will compensate you. But the nafshei mi kabbalah. Was Shimon willing to accept upon himself responsibility for Reuven's loans, for Reuven's debts? No way. If you sold me the field with a debt outstanding, you have to look after that debt. I don't have to look after your debts. Enough that I look after my problems. I'm not responsible for your problems. But Umay de Rava would certainly agree that in the following case, Shimon must pay up. If it's a Baal Choiv who doesn't have a claim on Reuven, rather on Reuven's father, so it's not Reuven himself. So that does fall into Shimon's realm of responsibility. Reuven sheyorash Sodom Yaakov. Reuven inherited a field from his father Yaakov. And his father happened to owe some people money. Now, Reuven went and sold the field to Shimon, not his brother, a stranger. Umarchel Shimon, Shalei B'Achrayis, without taking responsibility for that sale. V'aso Shimon, and Shimon turned around and resold it to Ruvain. Umarchel Ruvain, this time B'Achrayis. He took full responsibility. What happened? V'aso Baal Chayv the Yaakov. And the Baal Chayv, who had a claim against Ruvain's father, Yaakov, came along and grabbed the field from Ruvain. He repossessed that property. V'kotaref liminei. Now, of course, Dinahu, it is proper that who is responsible? Shimon. The Azal Shimon u'mafatzi le'minei. Shimon has to go and compensate Ruvain. My time and why? Balchayv de Yaakov ki balchayv de Almadami. I'm not responsible for my father's debts. A balchayv of his father Yaakov is unrelated to Ruvain the son. We don't say a son is like a automatic, hemshech, brok hara davo. He's like a foot of his father. Father is a father, son is a son. Balchayv of the father took it away from me. I experienced a loss. You guaranteed the sale. Pay up. Omar Rami Barchama. Reuven shemachar sada leShimon b'achrayis. Reuven sells a field to Shimon with full guarantees, full responsibility. V'zakaf olav v'milva. It was sold on credit. Shimon still owed the sale money to Reuven. He never paid him for the actual sale. So you had that outstanding debt to Reuven, and Reuven died. Umeis Reuven. Halacha is, just as a side point, halacha is that metaltalin that belong to Yisomim are not committed to their father's debts. Only if there was karka behind, he left behind real estate, then that is committed to their father's debts. Okay, so knowing that, what happened in this case? Shimon purchased a soda from Reuven on credit. So he has an outstanding debt to Reuven. Reuven passed away. Now we have children, Yisomim. Reuven happened to owe money to somebody else as well. So the creditor who had a claim against Reuven the father came along looking for something to collect. He found an easy target. This field that was sold to Shimon. He grabbed it from Shimon. He was about to repossess it, and Shimon turns around and says, 1 second, I have something for you. He appeased him, he satisfied him with money. Okay, let me just pay up the claim and leave the field right here. What happens now? Does Shimon still have to pay for the field? The answer is yes. Dinahu, the halacha is, Da'amri le'bnei Reuven. Reuven's children, the Yisomim, can turn to Shimon and say, look, pay up for that field. What do you mean? He says, I already paid for the field. No, you didn't. You didn't give us any money. Well, I gave it to the Baal Chayv. Well, they say, too bad on you. You shouldn't have done that. Anan metaltali shavak avun gabach. Look, our father had metaltalin with you. Meaning, it's another way of saying, there was money that you owed our father. That's metaltalin. That's not real estate. Umetaltali diyasmi lebal chayv lemishtabdi. The fact is, metaltali that are in the Yisomim's possession are not committed to a Baal Chayv. You shouldn't have laid out that money. You can't consider that payment in lieu of the purchase, payment. The money that you gave the Baal Chayv was not our money. We did it. We had no commitment to the Baal Chayv. Metaltalin that you're holding on our behalf is not meshuvah. It's not committed to a Baal Chayv. So when you paid up that Baal Chayv, it's your money. It's your loss. You still owe us for the field. Amar Rava, there is a way out. If this buyer, this Shimon, is a wise fellow, this is what he's meant to do to hold on to his field, to hold on to his money. He says, sure, Rabbi Yisai, okay, I made a mistake. I laid out that money. It's my loss. Now I owe you money. Actually, your father, because I purchased this field on credit. So what's he going to do? Magbi luhuni alayu ara. So he offers them land, maybe this land, a different land. He says, okay, this is in lieu of payment. And Taisus explains he can do this. Typically, a Baal Chayv has a right to insist on money, but here, since he's going to experience a loss, we allow him to do this sort of shtick. He can offer them karka. He says, okay, $1,000 for the the purchase of the karka. I don't have any money today. Here's karka worth $1,000. Now they have karka. Now he can go ahead and cash in on his claim against their father. Keep in mind that he purchased this field. Be'achrayis. Father had guaranteed the sale. Right? And now, look, I experienced loss. The Baal Chayv came and collected from me. Well, not the karka, but I had to pay him off. I experienced loss because of the father. Where's the achrayis? Where's the guarantee? Where's the security? Well, they'll say, we have nothing to pay you with. We don't have karka. Well, you do. I just gave it to you. See, he retakes that karka. V'hadar gavi lo minayu. So basically, he takes the karka, gives it to them, and retakes it. He gives it to them because he has to pay for the purchase. He can retake it because of the achrayas claim that he has against the father. Look, you sold me the field with achrayas, you secured it, you guaranteed the sale, and I just experienced loss. I had to pay off the Baal Chayv, who was about to take the field from me. Well, you'll tell me, sure, we owe you, but metaltalin, I'm not meshubah to you. I'm not asking for metaltalin. I'm asking for that field that you have. And that field isn't something that you just bought. It's not your private purchase. This field came back to you because of an outstanding debt between myself and your father. I owed him for that purchase. So they took possession of karka, which relates to their father's business activities. It's as though their father had it, and now I can retake it because of their father's commitment to me, the achrayis, which guaranteed the sale. Rav Nachman, Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rabba Baravu, Yisoymim shegovu karka b'chayv avian, b'chayv asavian. Somebody owed their father money. He passed away. They collected karka from a loiva. That karka isn't, their private business. It identifies with their father because it came to them as payment for a loan owed to their father. So what happens now? Since it's tagged as their father's property, the next fellow, who the father actually owed money to, he's a Baal Chayv of the father, who typically can't just collect from the Yisraelim's possessions, but he can collect this karka because this karka relates to the father. Likewise, in our case. Here, let me give you some karka which I owe because of the debt to your father, and I'll retake it because of the debt that your father had towards me. So everybody's safe and sound. Amar Rabba, here comes another case. Reuven shemachar kol sadosav l'shimon. Reuven had a selection of fields of all types of qualities. He has edis, high quality, baininus, medium, and ziburis, inferior quality. He sells everything to Shimon, Rashi says, in one transaction, in one swoop, in one shtar. Now we know that a Baal Chayv is meant to collect baininus, as per the Sugya and Maseches Gittin. That's just the way the Chachamim were misaken. So baininus is meant to be earmarked for the Baal Chayv. Okay, Reuben sold everything to Shimon, ignoring the fact that he owed somebody money. Okay, he sold everything to Shimon, nothing left. The Chazar Shimon the buyer, turned around and sold some of that property to Levi. Umachar soda achas Levi. One of those properties went over to Levi. So he's the second buyer. V'asa Baal Chayv de Reuven. Suddenly the Reuven's Baal Chayv comes around and he says, Rabbi Yisai, I have an outstanding debt against Reuven. I want to repossess one of these properties. Does he have a right to do so? Yes. Whose property? Shimon, the first buyer, or Levi, the second buyer? All depends. The way Rashi learns, the Gemara is interpreted as follows: Rotzo mizeh koiv. If the Baal Chayv chooses to take, even a higher quality field, idis, from Shimon, he could do so. So basically, if Levi left some high quality property back in Shimon's possession, then the Baal Chayv only has a right to collect from Shimon. Levi says, leave me alone. I left some property behind when I purchased from Shimon. You only have a right to go to the first buyer. You can't come to me. Ratzam is a goiva. Suppose he did not leave any high quality land behind. He left him just poor quality land. Then the Baal Chayv can opt to collect from Levi, who has better quality land. This is only applicable el dezavna beinanis. If Levi purchased medium quality land, in which case the Baal Chayv is entitled to collect from him. Aval zavna idas v'zipur. Suppose he purchased the best quality or the worst quality, and he left behind some of the beinanis by Shimon, then you have no right to hound Levi. Matzi amar le. So Levi can turn to the Baal Chayv and say, leave me alone, lahachi. Precisely for this reason, Tarchi, I troubled myself. I was meticulous. Vizavini ara de lechazilach. I purchased specifically land which was not earmarked for you. I purchased the other types. Go back to Shimon for your collection. Ubeinunis nameli amar. And even when Levi purchased Beinunis, it's only a concern of the loy shavak beinis de kavasa. He can only collect from Levi provided he did not leave a corresponding Beinunis by Shimon. So now Levi is at fault. Avol shavak beinunis kavasa. But let's say he left a matching beinunis in Shimon's possession. You have no right to collect from Levi. Matzi amalei. So Levi can turn to the Baal Chayv and say, well, look, I left you over perfect land. Go collect it from him. Amar Abai. Here comes another case. Reuven shemachar soda l'Shimon ba'achrais. So this time Reuven took responsibility for his sale to Shimon. Reuven ran out of funds, ran out of properties. Reuven's creditor is coming to hound Shimon. Can Reuven get involved and challenge the Baal Chayv with whatever arguments he may have to quell his claim, to cancel his claim? Yes. Dinahu. The right thing is that yes, the Ozl Reuven or Maftzilei, Reuven can go and challenge the Baal Chayv. Rashi says he can tell him, look, don't you remember you owed me money? Let's cancel it, tit for tat. Whatever taina, whatever claim he has, he can step up and challenge the Baal Chayv. And the Baal Chayv can't turn to Reuven and say, get out of the way. I have nothing to do with you. I'm coming to collect from your buyer. You have no right to interfere. He can't say that. He can't say, Lav Bal Dvaram Didiat. You're not a baldover, you're not, my disputant. You can't challenge my right of collection. He can't do that. Why? Mishum da Amarle, because Reuven will tell the Baal Chayv, sure, I'm involved. The mafkas minei, because as soon as you repossess the land from Shimon, my buyer, guess what happens? Olai hadar. Ultimately, he comes and hounds me. He comes back to haunt me. Of course, I'm a player, and I have a right to be involved. There's another version of this halacha, a chiddush. Even if Reuven sold without taking achrayis, he can still get involved when his creditor comes to hound his purchaser. The Amarle, because he says, I'm unwilling that that Shimon should have complaints against me when you come repossess his land. I want to get involved and get you out of the way. Another halacha. Reuven sells a field to Shimon without taking responsibility for anything that may occur. And suddenly we hear some rumors, some challenge to this sale. Can the purchaser back out? Can he cancel this proposed sale? Well, it depends at what point he's holding. If he hadn't yet taken possession of the field, he can just change his mind. Once he takes possession, he can't cancel the sale, because the seller tells him, look, you've taken a chance. You didn't ask for achrayis, so whatever it is, hold on to it. Rashi says a bag full of air, a knotted bag full of air. A savras for kibilis, you just willingly took upon yourself, meaning you didn't examine it, maybe it's just full of air. Likewise, you went into this field, you took a risk, it's your issue. At what point do we say Chazaka kicks in. The boundaries. Once he starts fixing up the boundaries, that's considered taking possession of the field, and it's too late. Tosfos has a chiddush here and pshat that we're speaking about a place where they typically write a shtar, so the sale is not really complete until the shtar is written. But here, once he starts fixing the boundaries, in conjunction with the fact that he actually paid for it, then we say it's a done deal, and he can't turn back. Tosfos has another pshat. He says that typically we give him a chance to sort of reconsider the sale. It's like, stores give you a 15-day money-back guarantee, so it's like a confirmation period. But once he's starting to do the chazaka, we see it's a done deal. He was megala das. He's showing that he's comfortable with the field. It's a confirmation. But let's say it was sold by achrayis, and Tosfos explains if he insisted on taking achrayis with the field, then we see he's very serious and very concerned about really ascertaining that it's going to be a proper sale. So in that case, even if he already did this chazaka, it's not far gone. He can still turn around and say, well, I hear some rumors about this field, let me just give it back to you. Ikad Amri, says the Gemara, in the second version, afilu b'achrayis nami, even if he sold it b'achrayis, he cannot turn around and cancel the sale at this early point. The Amarle, because the seller will tell him, okay, you might have some trouble, but let's see what happens. Achvi tirfach, show me the document issued to you by Bezdin. Once the field is taken from you, you'll show me that shtar v'asham, I'll fully compensate you. Until then, let's leave it alone. Rashi says, harbi eirurin she'ein zoichem bedin. You have, very often all kinds of issues and challenges, but we'll see if they win the case, and then we will worry about it. Okay, let's recap today's daf. We started with a case where Reuven sold a field to Shimon without taking responsibility. Shimon turns around and flips it back to Reuven with achrayis. A Baal Chayv of Reuven comes and repossesses the field from Reuven. Does Shimon have to pay up? Rami Mechama says yes. Rabbi says it cannot be. I'm not taking responsibility for your Baal Chayv. But if it's a stranger's Baal Chayv, even his father's Baal Chayv, then Shimon is taking full responsibility. A fellow purchased a field from a seller. On credit, the seller passes away. A Baal Chayv of the seller comes and tries to repossess his field. The buyer says, take some money and leave me alone. The Yisraelim are potter to repay him, but if he's smart, he will give them back the karka. The Yisraelim back the karka on account of the purchase payment, and then retake it from them on account of the achrayis that's owed to him. Shimon purchased many fields and resold to Levi. The Baal Chayv of Reuven can take Shimon's field if it's high quality. But if there is no high quality field by Shimon, he can go to Levi, provided Levi has baininess and did not leave a baininess over by Shimon for Reuven to take. We learned that the Reuven, the seller, is considered a Baal Davar. He can get involved in the court case and try to block his own Baal Chayv from collecting from his seller. He doesn't want issues. And we learned that once a field was sold, and there are issues questioning the sale, if it's shalei b'achrayis, he can cancel as long as he hadn't yet made a chazaka. According to version number 2, even with achrayis, he can if it's shalei b'achrayis, we say that he can cancel the sale. But if it's be'achrayis, if it's shalei b'achrayis, so once he does the chazaka, it's too late. But if it's b'achrayis, it would seem from the Gemara that even after chazaka, he can still change his mind. According to version number 2, even with achrayis, okay, we'll see what happens. When it's taken from you, we will worry about it then. Until then, have some emunah and betachan, and sleep peacefully. All the best to you. Hatzlacha Rabbah.